9:10. All right, guys, let's get going with this live. This is my second live today. We're gonna go for it. All right. So I'm gonna keep a notebook with me this time in case I get any ideas throughout the live. I'll write them down. Okay. So here's what I want to say. I am thinking about starting a school community soon, and it'll be like $7 a month, and I'm gonna teach you all the basic life coaching tools I have. And I think it'll be kind of a fun place to go and get like really low interest, like low barrier to entry life coaching and see what it's all about and get the tools. So I'm pretty excited. I'm working on that. If you guys have any ideas of anything you'd like to learn in a school community that's very affordable, like $7 a month, let me know. And I'm kind of, storing that opinion over in my mind. So yeah, let me know and I'll keep talking about that. So welcome to my live, guys. We're gonna be on for about an hour tonight, and this is life coaching live. So ask me whatever you need help with and we're gonna go for it. If you don't know, life coaching is different than therapy. I would say therapy is clinical, life coaching is not. Therapy helps you understand yourself. Life coaching helps you transform yourself and get specific results. I kind of like to say that life coaching is more business, the world of business and entrepreneurship meets therapy pretty much, but it's, again, non-clinical. So whatever you guys need help with, let me know. Savannah, let's go for it. Thanks for the comment. How can I talk to my shy crush in real life for the first time? I think that one of the biggest skill sets you need to learn as a fully integrated person is being okay being uncomfortable. So let it be uncomfortable, right? Because when you talk to someone you have a crush on, there's always the potential for rejection. So it's really important that you are, the secret to life, I want to say the secret, right, is not learning how to not be uncomfortable and take action. It's learning how to be uncomfortable and take action anyways. And that really is it, okay? So if you guys are trying to wait until you feel ready to do something, recognize that your brain isn't designed to feel ready. Your brain is designed to make you feel nervous to do something new, especially if you're going to face rejection. Because our brains are kind of built on this hardwire that doesn't like rejection, because historically, when we got rejected from the tribe, we'd literally die, right? We would get rejected, we'd be out in the winter by ourselves, we'd get eaten up by a lion, right? That's the hardware your brain's built on. So let it be uncomfortable. Thanks for the likes. Let it be uncomfortable and do it anyway. I would seriously do and there's kind of ways you can do this. If you are going to do something that scares you, sorry, somebody just texted me. If you're going to go into a situation that scares you, you can pre-frame it in your mind, right? Imagine the whole scenario out, and actually your brain doesn't know the difference between real life and simulation. So if you imagine yourself in the scenario, you can kind of experience the whole thing of asking the crush out before it happens, and you can kind of train yourself to get used to the discomfort. My light just went out. Just give me 1 second. It's been doing that. Sorry, the block that I'm using is kind of not great, so let me just get another block. I'll be right back. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right, 1 sec. This is my problem, is I brought a block over to a friend's house, thinking I'll probably need that at some point, but I brought it over there anyways. All right, 1 sec. Sorry, guys. Let me fix this really fast. Come on, you can do it. Yay, okay. Here we are. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Mango pod, oh my gosh, that's great. Mango's gross. I never liked the mango flavors of anything. I like real mango. I love real mango, but the pods, not so much. Not so much. Okay. What's up, Abby? Okay, 1 sec. I want to make sure I'm not missing comments. I'm not sour. I can do it. Okay. Abby, hi, Andrew. I have a few different things I want to do in life. How do I decide to focus on? Okay, this is really important. The main thing that I think that the main skill set an integrated adult who lives their dream has to learn is listen to their intuition. And if you have two different options, I promise you, if this is like an exercise you want to do by checking in with your body, okay? So, for example, I am writing down the definition of, this is a really good example. I'm writing down the definition of authenticity right now in my life, okay? So, my entire goal with this definition is to write down what feels right to me in my body. So what I'm saying is you have two options, right? So what you want to do, Abby, is write down both options and actually envision the life if you go down either path. Envision what life you'll create, and your body will tell you what's the right choice for you. You'll 100% understand in your body what feels more aligned. But this is a skill set you practice. A lot of people are so disconnected from their bodies because we've been taught to be, because our society's filled with things that helps us learn how to numb our emotions, right? And unfortunately, our inner compass, I consider an emotion. So you should be able to do this, though, I think. When you look at a career path, the one that feels more exciting and scary is the right one. That's the one your body's telling you is the right path, right? The one that feels dull and boring, that's not the right path. Make sense? So listen to your body. If you need help, by the way, I want to offer this, guys. I want your opinions. I'm starting a school community. I think it's going to have all my basic education I'll teach my clients, and it'll be really awesome. So like all the skills that you need to learn as a normal client of life coaching, I'm going to add in that community. It'll be like $7 a month. Would you guys be willing to doing something like that? If I had a community that had courses already there and community, and then once a week I do an actual coaching call where you guys could see life coaching and get coached on things like that? I'm just curious. What's up, guys? All right, one sec. Oh no, synced. I miss my ex, but he doesn't want me anymore. It's okay to miss your ex. It's not okay to tell stories about that ex that make you trapped in the past. Makes sense? It does sound great. Awesome. You guys would do that? Sweet. I'm going to at some point. I want to stockpile courses in that first. I want the ideal for the community. I want to have a bunch of courses. Like I teach a tool called the self-coaching model, and it's like literally how your thoughts create your emotions. Really good tool. So I want to have a course on that. I want to have a course on basic emotions. I want to have like 5 courses ready to go. So when you get in there, you can literally start educating. And then there's going to be one group call a week where anybody can get on and we'll do like a live coaching in real time. I have goosebumps talking about it because it sounds really exciting and I don't need a niche. Anybody who has problems that like my style can come in and get coached. And I just think that's really cool. So, yes. So thanks for the comments. Yeah, what I want to offer to you is if you have a relationship, right? And somebody broke up with you and you didn't want to break up with them, it is okay to feel the emotions of feeling like crap, okay? It's okay to feel sad and disappointed and like grief over the life you could have had with that person. What's not okay is believing stories about yourself that make you feel bad about it, right? You can grieve without making it mean something bad about you. You can grieve without believing things like that was the best thing that was meant for me. I'm never going to find another partner. I'm bad. I'm not worthy enough, right? Those are all unnecessary suffering beliefs. So just be careful when you have an experience in your life that's not desirable, getting broken up with, a death in the family, whatever it is, grieve. But then also make sure you're not believing things that are creating unnecessary amounts of suffering on top of the normal part of grief. Make sense? What do you need motivation with, Blessing? Quitting aping. Yes, M. So quitting aping, I actually have a course in my bio. I just recommend looking at the sales page because if I talk about that in depth on TikTok Live, they censor me and then they'll kind of mute my account. I'll get like a flag. It's happened a lot. They don't like me talking about any kind of anything like that or that. They don't like me talking about that, so I have to limit the way I speak about it. But if you want, if you click on my link in my bio, in the bottom one, there's it's called Escape the Vape, and you can read through the whole thing and it'll give you so much information about why it's been hard for you to quit and how to quit. It's very, very good information. It'll really help you. Okay. How do I swing with my husband? You just do it. Make sure you're on the same page. So I think a lot of people, you have to be very emotionally mature to do something like that, right? Make sure you're both on the same page. Make sure you're not going to get jealous, right? And you have to have those conversations ahead of time. Abby, is this a different Abby? It totally is, right? That's interesting. Okay, thanks for sharing live, guys. Yeah, like this and share it because I'm trying to get more people in here and I've just been trying really hard to do that. So why won't he just talk to me? We were perfect, even friends. This is the Abby with the girl. Listen, Abby, I want to tell you something, and it's going to sound harsh, and maybe it won't, but you deserve to be with someone who actually wants to be with you. And if you feel like you're pushing somebody to be in a loving relationship with you, you deserve better. But you have to see that for yourself. And that sucks to hear because I know that you're still holding on to that story, but you have to decide, you know what? Like this took me 5 years, by the way, to learn with an ex from Spain. I was holding on to the relationship. And what I need to actually say is that this person doesn't want me and that I deserve someone who's fucking wild about me, right? And it hurts because you have to let go of something that felt good in the past that is no longer serving you. So that's all I want to say for you, is you really do deserve to have somebody who's like all about Abby. Just like I deserve to have someone that's all about Andrew. But in order to find that, you're welcome, Em. In order to find that, you have to let go of what isn't serving you, and it's painful. You know, there's a spiritual concept that you have to kill a part of yourself in order to be reborn, right? It's like if you look at Harry Potter, right, or the Lord of the Rings, you know, everyone dies. Like Harry Potter dies, Lord of the Rings, Frodo dies, he's brought back to life in the first movie, right? Like if you look at like the Phoenix, right, is like it actually rises out of its own ashes. So it's like, you know, you actually have to kill a part of yourself, which is the part of yourself that still loves this person, in order for you to actually make space for what is actually desirable for you, which is a better partner that's better for you, right? So there's this whole spiritual idea that there's a lot of suffering in being able to move forward sometimes, and that's okay. It's not a bad suffering. It's normal. It's totally expected. It's normal. Don't think there's something wrong with you for it, and let yourself go into those emotions without judgment. Okay. Thanks for sharing live, Barbato. What's up, Pagan Nature? How do you become a life coach? This seems like a fulfilling job. Actually, so I'm going to make a school community soon, and it's going to teach you my basic life coaching skills. And it's $7 a month, I think, because I'm going to charge for it. So if you're interested, follow me, and then I'll keep you posted. If you want to become a life coach, you just have to be able to solve the problems you're telling people you can solve. What I like to think of is life coaching is kind of the intersection between therapy and business. Although we're not therapists, right? I'm not doing licensed work. I'm not diagnosing. I'm not treating. Life coaching is helping people get certain results they want in their life. That's as simple as it has to be, right? So all these kinds of things I can help you get. I've gotten these results. It is helpful to get training on mental health and how the mind works, right? Like basic pop psychology or cognitive psychology. But if you can help somebody get a result in your life and you're confident, you just call yourself a life coach, or you can call yourself a business coach or a relationship coach. It doesn't matter, right? But I would say the way you actually become a life coach, in my experience, is get some kind of training. It's helpful so you can believe in yourself and you know what you're doing. Experience life coaching, like actually get coaching is really helpful. And then you just got to go out there and start, really with any of your dreams, guys. If you have a dream, like I got a dream, right? You just have to decide that I'm in the right place to start. And I'm good enough right now. That's a belief you have to adopt. Like, I'm good enough right now is a belief you have to choose if you want to grab for any dream, okay? And then you just have to let yourself take the first step from that belief, right? If I believed I was good enough to start life coaching, what would I do? Well, I could offer free sessions. And that's what I did when I started. I'm like, I have training. I think I can do it. I'm just going to offer free stuff. And I did that for like a whole month. And I got people in. And you know what? It helped me build my belief that I could actually help people. And that just kind of, ever since then, it's spiraled, right? Okay. But there's a whole business side too. Mike, what do I do when I'm doing something? I knew that was your account too. I knew that was your account, and I still read that comment. Blessings, really, you're such a jerk. Really just starting again in life. I'm starting to fold myself up in a box for others. But you're starting to put yourself in a box for others, or you're pulling yourself out of the box? Sure, Z, how can I quit the urge to cut up in traffic? Are you being serious? I can't tell if that was serious. It's not going to be 2 years soon. I'm not over him. It's okay. It took me 5 years. It really took me 5 years. And I think what I want to offer you is that there's no set amount of time that it takes to get over someone, okay? Don't believe stories. I needed to experience 5 years of being in a box of self-pity for myself, honestly, in order for me to really see my own worth. So, there's an ebb and a flow to life. The good times are no more important than the bad times, right? Every single scenario in life has something to teach you, or else you wouldn't be going through it. That's the divine perfection of the universe, right? So if you're still it's been 2 years and you're still suffering, let yourself fully dive into the suffering. I think right now you've still been resisting it, and that's why it's perpetuating. Make sense? Okay. Unknown, I don't know what that means, sorry. So to end it an hour later. If you're not happy in a relationship with somebody else, as soon as possible, because you know it's not what you want, and the only reason you wouldn't end it is because you're trying to protect somebody else's emotions. I don't think I have empathy. That's okay. Why do you think that? Can you talk about instant gratification? Yeah, the problem with our society is that it's based on instant gratification. Since we are all little kids, we've been raised to go after things that release dopamine because it's instantly gratifying. It's one of the big things I teach about when I help people quit vaping or stopping overeating or stopping any stuff, any other thing they have a problem with, whether it's like, so, our brain is built on a system called the motivational triad. And that pretty much means that our brain wants to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and be as comfortable as possible. And the problem with that in modern society is that system gets highly abused because our brain was never designed to live in a society with so much abundance and so much concentrated chemicals in things like nicotine, alcohol, sugar that doesn't really exist in nature. So, everyone has a problem with instant gratification because we've been designed to, right? Even this social media, it's like you can literally talk, 3 seconds attention span, right? So that's a problem because the things in life that you really want that are difficult, that are meaningful, they're not instantly gratifying, right? You have to actually go up and do things that take a long time and be patient, learn. And so, we have this mismatch in society where there's so many things that make us artificially happy, but the things that make us actually happy, we are trained to avoid. Make sense? So that's kind of how I can explain it. Yes. Okay, give me a question. Yes. Casey, I'm obsessed with a coworker and want to be friends with him. He doesn't. Well, then you have to respect his boundary, right? I mean, you don't have to respect his boundary, but I recommend that as an adult, you respect other people's boundaries. But when it comes down to it, honestly, it's our own responsibility to respect our own boundaries. So, tell him how you feel and see what he says. And if he draws a hard boundary, it'd be nice if you respected it. But it's your choice, ultimately, right? Why is quit vaping first? It's the hardest thing to do on the list. It isn't, actually. That's the reason I put that first is because I sincerely believe that if you are currently not being able to control any kind of thing in your life, whether it's alcohol, food, etc., it's a good place to start with this work because learning how to manage yourself around vices is the first step in creating a life that I believe is meaningful. And that's just my personal opinion and experience after doing this for 3 years. But if you want help with that, Colin, I have in my bio, there's a link. It's the last one on my link tree, and it's called Escape the Vape, and it has a bunch of information of how how you can quit. It's a really, really good program I put together, and it's very affordable. Tips for deadlift, 900. Yeah, do it slowly, one day at a time. Clavicle crusher, that's great. 6 weeks off vaping, side effects went away except for the cravings. Yeah, if you're still having cravings after that amount of time, that is not nicotine related, that is actually emotionally related. Those are emotional cravings. And what that means is that in the past, every time you've had an uncomfortable emotion that you didn't want to deal with, you've trained yourself to vape over it. So there's no more nicotine left in your body, there's no more chemical addiction left in your body after about 10 to 14 days. It's all just emotional triggers you have left. So what I'd recommend for you is like, when you have a desire to vape, ask yourself, what was I just thinking and feeling? And start to bring awareness, because what you'll see is that you have these emotional patterns that you can actually learn how to bring awareness to and catch and, not vape over if you bring awareness. Makes sense? If you help people do better, why not? Yes, I do help people do better. Probably why is at the top of the list. Yes, one sec. I want to see if this works. I have this thing. Wait. More. That's so weird. On my live, there should be a little button that says DM me. I just want to see if it works. Sorry, one second. Business? Oh, there we go. Does my DM thing come up? I just want to see if it works. Did you guys see the DM thing? It's a new feature they just added. Okay, so if you guys want to quit vaping, if anyone's here want to quit vaping, go to my bio, go to the Escape the Vape link at the bottom of my link tree, okay? It's amazing. It's really, seriously, I've been doing this for 3 years. This is my main niche. I got to the point where I realized that quitting vaping is such a small part of what I do. So I mastered that skill tree, and the course will work for you, and it's amazing. And if that doesn't work for you, you get a bonus call with me 30 days in to see what's wrong so you can troubleshoot, and I'll help you fix any gaps you're having. It's a really good program. But yeah, I can't talk much about it here because when I start using words like ADD, ICTION, or SUB, STANCE, I get blocked on TikTok. They don't like words like that, so I can't really explain to you how I help you with that, unfortunately, on this app, because I'll get limited. Bean, advice for someone continuing to make, but you can go look at the link and it'll tell you everything. Advice for someone continuing to make me look bad because they're not over a situation. Well, nobody can make you look bad except yourself, right? There's this whole adage, there's this whole idea that exists in the spiritual world, and I believe in this, and whether you're spiritual or logical, it goes through either way. And it's that the truth always comes out, right? The truth is a lie and it defends itself, okay? So if somebody's bad-mouthing you and you're showing up as the version of you that's loving and in control, and they're telling everyone that you're not, eventually that's going to come out that the person bad-mouthing you is probably the problem. And what I want to offer to you is most people are developed enough. Maybe I'm giving people too much credit. At some point, most people get to the point where they realize the bad-mouthers are the problem, okay? So your job is not to control everybody else's opinion about you in life. You can't do it. I've tried. We all have, right? Your job is to show up how you want to show up and let other people think that whatever they want about you, right? This is one of the biggest skill sets I've had to learn. First of all, just calling myself a life coach at 29 years old, right? And then also as putting myself out on social media, people are just going to think wrongly about me. And you can just be okay with it, and then they have no power over you. Because the only power that you can give, that somebody else can have over you, is the power of your emotions and actions, and you can just take control of that because you can just not believe what they say. How can I stop vaping? Go to my link in my bio. You're welcome, Blessing. How to quit vaping? Yes, Brittany, go to my link in my bio, girl. It's really, really good information in there. Abby, welcome back. Have you considered answering questions or giving advice on a podcast? I would definitely listen. Yeah, I have a podcast. It's called the Making Meaningful Income Podcast. So what I'm doing right now, I've been trying to figure out how to build my business. So what I'm doing right now is I have the podcast, the Making Meaningful Income Podcast, because I love that podcast. It's kind of like my whole idea with coaching people is eventually I want to get them to the place where they believe that they can make income in a way that feels good to them. And that's a whole life-changing thing, right? If you can make income, you're truly free. So eventually that's the end goal I want for my clients, anybody who works with me or, comes into my life, my world, is to be able to actually make money doing something they care about, right? So that's the journey I'll take all my people on, and that's the end goal. So that's why I name my podcast that. But right now I'm just doing lives. I'm gonna do one every day, Monday through Friday. I'm also just taking general, life coaching clients. I'm also going to start that community that's a low ticket offer, teaching people my general tools. And then, that's all I'm doing in my business. Anything else, it seems like a lot. And then all these lives too, I'm posting on YouTube. So I'll have an entire collection of lives. So if you ever want to look back at any lives or anything where I'm actually doing Q&A like this, you can just stockpile and watch. So yeah. All right, so let's answer the rest of these. You're welcome. Okay. Okay, Brittany, do you think it works? My program absolutely works. Yeah, and if for any reason you're struggling, you get a complimentary 30-day call with me so that we can troubleshoot what's going wrong with the material. But go check it out. The video will explain. How have you found your purpose? College never really felt right. Well, I started listening to my gut. I had to listen to my intuition. You know, your purpose is always within you. And I know it sounds like fluffy, like, oh, life coach purpose. No, like literally, your purpose is within you. Like if you just listen to your heart instead of what other people think is best for you, and you take action from that place, which is an act of courage and it's scary. That's why most people don't. And you do that every single day, you'll have purpose, right? We're all built with this compass. I believe that if we all learn how to listen to the intuition that comes with us, but we're built in with us when we're born, we'll have purpose, right? We'll actually go after a life that's meaningful. So I think a lot of people, especially myself included, were trained that we should just go and find our purpose from a college list of degrees, and that didn't work for me, and it should not be that way. So what I recommend for you if you try to find purpose is like figure out what life you'd want if you actually had a life that was desirable. Okay, so like look into the future. Like if I was 40 years old and everything worked out how I think I wanted to, what would that look like? And then make decisions in the future, the present, based on that future assumption. What's your take on the red pill content because they're trying to make you a better person, but in a toxic way? I don't know what that means. Red pill content in a toxic way. Red pill is when you wake up, right? I don't think it's toxic. I don't think the red pill content is toxic. I think that's a generalization. I think that because for a while I was helping people escape the matrix, just like my content. Good night. Sorry, my phone's going to bed. For a while I was trying to help people escape the matrix. That's what I called it. And I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's toxic. I think a lot of people get triggered by content like that because it makes them look at themselves in a mirror, and they don't like that. So I'm sure there are people making it toxic, but most people I think aren't doing that. They're just doing it trying to help people wake up a little bit and like see, you know, we're all asleep until we're not, right? Yeah. Yes. Awesome. I don't know what I asked. Shit. The little $7 thing, right? I asked for the DM thing, right? That came up. Good. How does it make anyone better? It's all toxic. It doesn't. I think the content I do is red pill content. Like, hey, let's look at how you're thinking about your life and why you're thinking that way. And that's all Neo did, right? He started questioning his beliefs. That's the whole movie. So, are you guys leaving?
Yeah, see you, bro.
Bye. My brother's leaving. All right, it's okay. Bye, guys. Bye. Have a good night. Sorry, my brother's leaving. Okay. We guys share this live or like just share it, just like it or something so that more people come in. Sorry, just reminded me to say that. Ivan, how do I get my partner to stop vaping or drinking in the nicest way possible? You don't, actually. The nicest way possible is loving your partner exactly how they are. And right now, that's somebody who shows up wanting to vape and drink. And what I recommend for you, Ivan, with so much love, is that if you can't choose to love your partner unconditionally how they are, which is currently a vapor and a drinker, that relationship won't work out. Because you're not in love with your partner, you're in love with what you think they should be. And that's not your partner. So be careful with that, okay? That's your own work. And that's coming from somebody who is the quit vaping coach, whose family still smokes and vapes sometimes. So just be mindful of that. You have to, you can encourage them with love, but if you are trying to make your partner change who they are fundamentally, then you're just, it is a problem that you have with yourself. It's not a them problem. Okay. So my question to you would be, if they don't change doing that, do you still want to date them? If they stay exactly the same? And if the answer is no, then why are you in a relationship where you have to date someone that's the ideal of somebody, not the actual person himself? Make sense? Why quit vaping? Why does it do to you? There's a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it's bad for your health. 1, it increases your anxiety. 2, it's addictive. 3, and also it makes you reliant on a substance, right? Which I fundamentally believe as a life coach, someone who believes in personal empowerment, that if you're reliant on some kind of external thing, then it makes you weak, and you can't be the best version of yourself when you're reliant on something external to feel normal. That's just what I believe. So, Sam, if you actually need to quit vaping, go to my course and sales page. It's really good. And even if you don't buy the course, the sales page itself is educational and will kind of help you out. Thank you so much for answering. Yes, you're welcome, Bean. It's been draining this person to deal with so much negativity. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I don't remember what your last question was, Bean, but I must have answered it, right? Advice for someone continuing to make you... Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. Yep. Yeah, your job in this, Bean, is to, whenever they say something, recognize that is a fact, that they said that, and that facts don't create your emotions. Facts don't make you feel exhausted. It's what you're thinking about it, right? And what you're thinking is, I need them to stop so that I can feel good. So stop thinking that. You make yourself feel good or bad, so just cut it, with so much love. Yes, awesome, Abby. I just started posting the live today. So it's the first one I just put up today from this morning, but I'm just going to keep posting them. You'll have so much free content from me and everything I talk about. So if anybody has any kind of questions or anything throughout my lives, we'll be posting it. And then also, I'm going to start that $7 membership and get a bunch of courses in there. And then I will also do actual coaching. This is a little bit different than coaching. When I'm actually coaching someone, it's like I'm questioning them on their actual situation. This is like more educational, but the coaching itself is more transformative. So when I get into that membership and I have people in there, that'll be really cool. So how do I increase productivity and lower my screen time? Yes, give yourself a reason, Tommy. Tommy Lee, that's a cool name. Give yourself a reason. The the reason why we get so distracted with substances all the time and dopamine hits is because we don't have a reason not to be, truly. So like if you actually have like a very detailed like thing that you want, right? Like for me, I'm gonna give you my exact plan. I'm moving to Austin in January 6th, no matter how much money I make in my business. And that's motivating. Like I'm moving, I'm just gonna do it. So I need to show up, right? I have a very specific reason to be here on live right now, building my business rather than just watching Korra, The Last Airbender or whatever, you know what I mean? So that's what you want to do, is have a clear vision for why you want to take the action, and it's much easier to take the action. The problem with most people in life, I mean really most people, is that they're just kind of floating around letting life happen to them because they're not brave enough to actually say, this is what I want, right? Because when you say this is what I want, two things happen. One is that you have to actually go after it, and that's where all the uncomfortable time, work comes from. And then two is that if you don't go after it, all your limiting beliefs come up. So it's uncomfortable to define what you want, right? We're not taught how to do that. I think that's why coaching is such a big field right now. It's because coaches help you actually identify what you want and then overcome all the limiting beliefs that keep you procrastinating. Make sense? How can I get made in heaven? You already have been, and we're already in heaven. Losing friends. Okay, if you're losing friends, let me say this. What's the problem with that? Why is it a problem? What I found is the more that I grow as a person, the less actual friends that I have. Because I find that the more that I'm able to be authentic with myself and speak my mind, which is polarizing to a lot of people, the more that people who are surface level friends leave. And that's not a problem to me, right? So if you want deep friends in your life, and you don't have enough of them, where in your life are you creating that? Because everything's a projection, right? So if I don't have enough friends, enough money, whatever it is, that's somewhere in my aura, my thoughts, I'm creating that for myself. Make sense? How can I get a stand? Thanks for the follow, by the way, girl. How can I get a stand? What's that mean? Can you talk about getting over someone? Yes, I've been stuck on this kid for 3 years. Yes, and he's not nice. Yes. Okay, so what I want to offer to you is this. If you're stuck on someone after 3 years, and I'm saying this after, literally, girl, I just did a candle burning ceremony, by the way. Eden, if you want, you can check it out. It's about 10 posts back. But if you're stuck on someone, like I was stuck on somebody for 5 years, the reason was because I was believing a whole bunch of stories about that person that weren't true. I was believing that we were destined to be together. He was the one for me. I should go back to Spain. Like, I had all these stories that weren't true that I never looked at. And when I was able to actually get really vulnerable with myself and ask what am I feeling towards this person still, even if it feels pathetic to admit it, and why, that's when I was able to figure out that I was believing these things that were just keeping me stuck for no reason. Okay, so there's a time for grieve and there's a time for changing our thoughts. And if it's been 3 years, I would imagine it's time to look at those thoughts and start changing them, right? What are you believing about that person that's keeping you stuck in the past? Make sense? So yeah. And also, you'd be a great fit for my community. I'm going to do a $7 a month community where I'm going to teach you my basic life coaching tools, and you learning the thought management tools will be really helpful to get through the situation. So if you're interested in that, let me know, and follow me, and then I will release it in a couple weeks, probably maybe a week or so. Stepping away from an unhealthy relationship. Yes. What about it? It sounds like you're doing the right thing and building boundaries for yourself, Billy. So sounds good. Why am I feeling anxious outside? Like people are watching. What if they are? People watching you doesn't make you feel anxious. It's what you're thinking about them watching you that makes you feel anxious. Yeah, so what's the problem? Sorry, I need some water. Ray, why am I feeling anxious outside? We just did that. How did I just miss that? Deck, how about meeting friends in a small town? It doesn't, so this is what's important to you. Your circumstances don't matter. I know that you think they do, but they don't, right? Your energy matters. And what I mean by that is your thoughts create your results. Your thoughts create your emotions, create your results. And that's kind of woo-woo. It's like a law of attraction idea, but it's also very real. Like if I have a thought, it creates an emotion, I take action from that emotion. So whether you're woo-woo or rational, this makes sense to me. And I'm probably autistic. So as much as I like to be woo-woo, I need to make sense to my autistic logical brain to do this work, right? So if you're having trouble meeting people, it's because of what you're thinking about your town, right? And I can tell right now, just because of how you said it, that you have a belief system that because I live in a small town, it's hard to meet friends. Well, that's the problem. And if you question that belief and eliminate it, how many friends do you want? 5? Well, there's probably 5 people in your town that would be sweet to hang out with. But if you choose to believe that it's going to be difficult to meet friends, I'm going to prove that right to myself, because your thoughts are always being proven true, because your brain is a very simple computer. Your brain has one function. You give it input, your thoughts and beliefs. Sorry, someone's driving by in a loud car. And then your brain looks for proof. That's how your brain works. It's like a very simple computer, right? I give it the programming and then it creates a code. Or I give it the code, it creates whatever. It outputs a program, whatever it is. So what I'd recommend for you is if you want to find friends, write down all the reasons why you think it's difficult to find friends in your town, and then prove them wrong. And every single time that you prove one of those beliefs wrong, you're going to have a shift in energy, and that energy will attract people to you because you'll be receptive to receiving them. Right now, the problem is that you're actually blocking yourself from any friends because you're believing it's not possible to find them where you live. Make sense? And that really is, like, I'm not just saying that. This really does work like this. This works with partners. It doesn't matter if you're gay or straight or wherever you live. There is a partner always ready for you. You just have to be really ready to accept them, right? And a lot of the times we're blocking ourselves with our own belief systems. So, Benzo, anxiety, how to overcome it. I've been struggling recently with feeling like I'm going to die. That sounds like heart palpitations. If you're that anxious that you're in heart palpitation, I'd recommend that was more clinical, and you might want to go to therapy for that. You might have some trauma work that needs to be done or something like that. Because there's two different kinds of anxiety, okay? And most clinicians don't teach this because most people have been taught that all anxiety is bad, most of them. There's normal, healthy anxiety. There's unhealthy, abnormal anxiety, okay? Most people have normal, healthy anxiety. That's like, I'm anxious throughout the day. Of course we are. That's normal emotion. But it sounds like what you're explaining to me is a little bit more clinical because you're having heart palpitations. So if it's that intense where like you're literally having a full-out panic attack, I would recommend you go to a clinician. If you want, there's Psychology Today if you want to look up a therapist, or I just recommend you do that because it sounds like if you were able to talk about your anxiety in a clinical setting, it would be very helpful to disarm it. And coaching can help you with that. It's my ethical responsibility as a life coach who's not licensed to tell you that therapy would probably be a better container for that before you try coaching, okay? How do I keep getting out of bed in the morning? Have a reason to, 11. That's the only thing I can tell you. And if you don't have a reason to, that's on you to create one, right? Like one of my favorite people in the whole world, his name is Viktor Frankl. This man lived through 3 different death camps during the Holocaust, okay? And one of his famous sayings is, at the moment that suffering I have goosebumps because this is such a deep, I love it. At the moment that suffering finds a meaning, it ceases to be suffering, okay? So what that means is that there are things in life that make us feel bad. But if we can find a reason to make them meaningful, whether it's like, I went through depression, now I'm helping people with it. I hated myself. I learned how to love myself. I found a purposeful job. I had kids and had a family. Whatever the suffering you have, if you can find a way to think about it in a way that's meaningful, it'll stop being suffering. So that's what I'd recommend. It's like, find the things in your life you're not happy with and ask yourself, how can I make these meaningful to me or somebody else? And that's meaning 101. And I think meaning is the purpose of life, to find meaning in it, right? That's what Frankl had this whole idea of like the will to meaning, like you need meaning in your life. And if you're suffering right now, especially if you're somebody who's depressed or like, don't want to be alive or can't even get out of bed, you need to find a meaning to transcend all the suffering you're going through. Okay. Makes sense? How to stick to a diet. Again, have a reason to. Like what I recommend to you, Daddy, is this is the part that most people miss when setting goals is they're not actually putting themselves in the goal achieved. The most important thing I can teach you as a life coach is that your thoughts are optional. And if you want to create new results, you have to think from the version of you that already has the result. Okay? Because that's how the law of attraction works. If I want to lose 20 pounds, I have to spend time envisioning my life already 20 pounds lighter. Because what you're going to see is that version of you is the one who gets you the goal, right? If I want to lose 20 pounds, I have to imagine, like, how do I eat 20 pounds from now? How do I work out? What do I not eat? What do I say no to? Do I still drink beer on the weekends, right? If you put yourself in the goal already being done, it'll give you the exact framework for how to complete it. It'll also give you the emotional excitement to go after it. But when I'm setting a goal for myself of losing weight, I'm still seeing myself as the 20 pounds heavier Andrew. It's almost impossible to gain it because your thoughts create your results. So if I'm thinking about myself as somebody who's the same weight, it's very hard to create a new result. I have to be thinking about myself as the goal done. This is like the very basic way to manifest things, by the way. It's like, it's done in my mind, take action from that place, okay? So that'll help you. If you want to quit aping and you get through the first week is really tough, it's because you're dealing with emotions. So what you're dealing with is the nicotine withdrawal itself, which is the chemicals, but you're also dealing with the emotional withdrawal. Okay, so what I help you do in my program, it's called Escape the Vape. It's in my bio. Just go check it out. It's the sales page is free to look at, and it'll teach you a whole bunch of stuff. What I do is in that program is I help you do with the emotional, the mental, and the chemical addictions. And if you understand all three and you're prepared for all three, then when you quit, you're not going to be dealing with the emotional side, and quitting will be much easier than it's ever been in the past because you've actually dealt with the root issues. Okay. So if you guys want to quit vaping, go to my bio. It's a very good course. Seriously, it's great. You can look at all the testimonials. It's amazing. I spent 2.5 years in my business just working on that course. And then I decided that was too narrow of a niche for me, and I've broken out into larger things, but I've perfected that skill tree. The course will work for you, okay? All of this, yes, if you have all of this going on, it's a thought and emotional regulation issue. That's the problem. So I teach people how to, Ava Twin, nice. I teach people how to manage their thoughts and their emotions so they can create any of these results. Because at the end of the day, your thoughts create your emotions, drive your actions, create your results. So any of these that you want it's all starting with your thoughts and the way you're thinking, and therefore feeling and acting, okay? All right, guys, let me see what time it is, because I've been on for it's all starting with your thoughts and the way you're thinking, and therefore feeling and acting, okay? All right, guys, let me see what time it is, because I've been on for quite a while. It's been lovely. If you guys want to throw any more comments in, I'll stay for another couple minutes. One sec. Yes. Overeating, Kayla. Yeah, overeating is an underfeeling problem, okay? So remember what I just said, right? Your thoughts create your emotions, drive your actions. So if you're taking an action like overeating, it's because of the way you're feeling, okay? So what we do in coaching, at least if you get a good coach like me, is I'm going to help you understand how to manage your thoughts, and therefore most of the emotions you're experiencing will go away, the negative ones, and then I'll also teach you how to feel your emotions so you don't need food to do the feeling for you. That's exactly right, right? And then when you're in a situation where you want to eat, you're going to understand that the reason you want to eat when you're not hungry is because you have a negative emotion in your body, and I'll teach you how to disarm that emotion so you can process it and move forward without food. That's exactly right. And by the way, I used to be morbidly obese. That's actually the reason I got into coaching was, there's a couple, but overeating was definitely one of them. So, and I got certified on overeating coaching. So if you want help with that, let me know. Also, I do coaching. If you guys want help, like I am a life coach, so I forgot to offer that. But I think I want to get you guys into my $7 membership first. It's a monthly membership. I'm just creating it right now, and I will create a bunch of basic education courses so that you can just get the education for really cheap. And then if you want to coach on it still and you need coaching, it'll be a way cheaper container to do that. So I can just do it like that, right? Makes sense. Ganessa, I wake up with anxiety and go to sleep with anxiety, mainly usually around food. That's not a problem. Anxiety itself is not the problem. What's mostly happening, Ganessa, is that how you say it, Ganessa? Is that you're resisting the emotion. And that doesn't make sense to you probably, but a lot of people think that anxiety is a problem, so they resist the idea of it. And if you just stop thinking that anxiety is a problem, you'll stop having so much of it. Because there's this whole idea, like, negative emotion isn't a bad thing, okay? That's the main thing you should know. Negative emotion is not a problem itself, but when you think it's a problem, you end up pushing away from it, and then it becomes a problem because you're making it bigger, okay? Make sense? After it's dead. I don't know what I said. Wait, please tell me what quote you said from the guy who survived. Yes, it's Viktor Frankl. He says that at the moment that suffering finds a meaning, it ceases to be suffering. So type in Viktor Frankl quotes about suffering. It's like his most famous quote. It's great. And he literally believed that suffering literally would stop hurting once you could find a meaningful reason for the suffering. For example, if you're in if you just got over a really bad relationship, right? And you can find that the meaning was you had to learn that lesson. You had to go through that relationship to see your own worth. Then you no longer feel bad about going through it, right? It's like anything can be transcended through finding a meaning. It's really powerful work. And he actually has a therapy called logotherapy. And it's literally, if you look at the word in Latin, it means therapy through meaning. It's really cool. And he would literally take patients and just help them find meaning through their suffering. And that's his whole therapy. It's great. Very simple, very potent, right? Helps you rethink about your life. And honestly, a lot of the coaching principles now that I use in my practice are based on logotherapy, right? How can we think about this thing that you didn't want to happen in a way that makes you feel empowered instead of weak, right? That's really good. Ava, my mom thinks I'm lonely and should get a job, but I'm content with my life and friends. Well, then here's the best thing I can tell you, Ava, is if you're happy, then your mom's opinion about your life is not more important than your opinion about your life. Am I reading the chat or not? Yeah, I'm always reading the chat, girl. Why is relationship so important? What do you mean? It isn't. It's whether you want it or not. It's totally up to you. Kayla, because I've been asking this question, you haven't answered. Kayla, I've answered all my questions. I think sometimes, Kayla, it might censor a word automatically, and I don't have control over that. I don't have any censored words. So it must be, if you've been asking, I haven't seen it. It hasn't gone through on the chat that I've seen. You're welcome, Jalen. How can I give myself some head? Stretch more. That's the whole thing. Cortada delgado galleta. Wait 1 minute. Cortada de galleta. Is that right? How do I set goals and follow through? Yes. So setting goals is easy. You know what I mean? Find out what you want. Actually, I shouldn't say that because finding out what you want can be really difficult. So if you're trying to set a goal, get as close as you can to what you want without it overwhelming you. For example, if you want to start a business, just set the goal as I want to start a business. If the details of what that means to you overwhelms you, take a step back. Right now, I know I just want to start a business, right? And then you want to figure out the steps. If I was going to start a business, what would I do? Well, I could start researching businesses. I could start writing down what I like and what I don't like. I could look at other people online and see what excites me and what doesn't, right? So that's like the first step. Figure out what you want and what feels good to your body. That's how you set goals, what feels aligned to you, right? Use your emotions. And then following through is a whole different thing. Following through on a goal is all about managing your thoughts long enough to take consistent action. That's it. So that's hard for a lot of people because a lot of people, once they set a goal, all their limiting beliefs come up immediately, and we have to be able to work through those limiting beliefs. And it's difficult for a lot of people. That's why coaching exists, to be honest with you. I help people stay mentally fixated on their goal in a positive way long enough to get the result. Okay? Got broken up with, what's up, Brian? 3 days ago with a girl that was our second time trying, how do I move on? Got broken up with 3 days ago. Okay, with a girl that was our second time trying. How do I move on? Don't make it mean something bad about you. That's it. That's the number one thing. And also what I'd recommend is don't try to move on too quick. Because if you try to push through the normal emotions that come with something that's undesirable, then you're going to get stuck in them. It's the irony of negative emotion, right? If I try to get over something that I need to process, I'm going to get stuck perpetually in it, right? So whenever you try to avoid negative emotion, they get stronger. So let yourself feel like crap, and then don't believe stories about that relationship that make you feel weak or small. That's the most simple way I can say it. Dan, what up, Chase? How are you? You're killing it, by the way. Did you get the $5,000 contract? You did, right? Yes. Fuck yes. I'm so excited. Chase, I'm going to start a community for $7 a month on school, I think. I'm going to just put my basic courses and community shit on there so that people can have it, and then, yeah, use it to kind of warm up clients that want to work with me. That's my next goal, I think. I don't want a niche anymore, Chase. I fucking hate the niche. I am a general life coach, damn it, and I coach on whatever people need help with. And I'm the brand. I'm the captain now. Sorry. I just off traffic. Okay. How can I make sure I don't get too attached to somebody before I go out? Yeah, the way that you don't get too attached to someone is by making sure that you're not giving them credit for your emotions, okay? So what I mean by that is if you're dating someone to feel worthy or loved, that's a surefire way to get too attached. We don't date to complete us. That's a really bad way of thinking about dating. Your partner's job isn't to complete a missing puzzle piece. You are a full puzzle by yourself, right? So figure out how to love yourself enough to where you don't need a partner, and then take action and date from that place of not needing but wanting. That's exactly right. And if right now you have this pattern of getting so invested in somebody else's life and attached overly, it's because you're giving them credit for the way that you're feeling. You don't feel worthy unless you're with them, and you're probably not aware of that, because I wasn't aware of that shit until 3 relationships deep. Okay? So that's really good awareness for you. Banana Milk, welcome back. How can I be more talkative? I'm introverted. You're talking right now. You're doing fine. You don't need to be more talkative. Be yourself. Jalen, I don't know your religion, but Jesus loves you. Thanks. What are you doing? Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm spiritual, but I do believe Jesus was real, and I believe he was a savior. I don't believe he was the only savior, but I totally will receive that with so much love, and I appreciate it. That helps. Thanks. You're welcome. Daz, take it slow and remember where the relationship is instead of, yeah, I get that, but also don't give credit for your partner for feeling worthy. That's the problem. Take out Bandian. I'm a long distance relationship with an amazing person, but the relationship is so draining because I miss him so much. Yes. So if you want to make a long distance relationship not draining, this is from personal experience. This isn't really a coaching response. You need to have a plan for when it's not going to be long distance. You guys have to have futures that are both aligned, and you need to consistently be talking about those futures, or it's just going to be all the time suffering. Because what's actually happening is you're drained because you don't know if it's actually going to work, and it's all the uncertainty that's draining you. So close the uncertainty gap. That's what I'm coming for you. Okay. Tomorrow's the day. Awesome. It's going to happen. I'm going to pray for that tonight. I'm going to manifest it for you. I think you're doing it. No niche. Yeah, totally. The vaping course works, by the way, if people want it. My goal is to have this community and have a bunch of courses, and I will be the brand, and I'll create courses and whatever the fuck I want to create courses on that'll help people. And because I'm the expert, and then people will they'll work with me because they like me as a person, right? That's my goal. So thanks for the follows, guys. By the way, guys, I'm starting a school community for $7 a month, and I'm going to create my basic life coaching tools to put in there, and I'm also going to do one live call a week. I'm creating my mind, but it'll be very valuable for $7 a month. So if you guys have been considering getting life coaching, or you're kind of interested in it, and you want it, this is the best deal I can think of that I can make for you. But it's not ready yet, so at least follow me, and I appreciate it if you have, and then keep showing up. I'll be live pretty much every day. Dan, just don't want to go all in because the third time being in a talking stage with them. Just don't want to go all in because this is the third time being in a talk. Well, you need to set boundaries and tell them what you want. What I recommend, Dan, is figure out what you want in the relationship and then tell them very clearly, right? If you're kind of in this uncertainty of well, we're talking, we're not talking, I don't know what they want, this third time, it's a boundary issue you're creating for yourself. Set clear boundaries. Hey, girl, guy, them, they, I like you, I want to date you. That's vulnerable, that's authentic for me to say that. I'm putting my neck out for you because I want to date you, right? That's how real relationships are made. Make sense? Spills, how can I say to people pleasing? I don't know what that means, but if you're people pleasing, it's because you care more about other people's emotions than your own. It's the very basic way to say that. Okay. So recognize that you can't control other people's opinions, even if you lie to them, or you can't control their emotions or their opinions. I smoke Zana vape. That's no problem at all. I don't have any problem with substances whatsoever. Just make sure you like the reasons you're doing it. Make sure it's not creating results in your life that you don't want. And what's the no judgment, no shame, right? But if you feel like it is creating results you don't want or you're not happy with it, I can help you by helping you learn about your thoughts and your emotions so that you can learn how to control them. But it's all good. You're welcome, TikTok. Got banned again. Daz, how do you avoid? Okay. Thanks for talking between you guys too. Yes, it is. Thank you. I didn't realize I had her on it. Yeah. How can I say no to people? You do it. You let it be uncomfortable. That's the real issue. You know, I was raised a serial people pleaser, and I was told my entire life that it's bad to make other people feel uncomfortable. And first of all, I don't make other people feel uncomfortable. Their thoughts about my actions do. And then also, it's not my responsibility to manage other people's emotions for them. We are all adults, and as an emotionally regulated adult, I have to take responsibility for my own emotions. And part of doing that is saying no when I want to. Saying yes when I want to also, but not saying no when I don't want to, right? So that's an emotional problem. People-pleasing is always an emotional problem. And it's a work of your life, really. Like, I still catch myself people-pleasing sometimes. It's not as bad as it used to be by any means, way, shape, or form at all, but it still happens sometimes. Not a problem, right? I just catch it, and if I notice it's happening a lot, I gotta check in with what I'm feeling and the reasons I'm doing it, right? But it's people-pleasing stops one people-pleasing event at a time. It's just something you have to learn how to do, and I can help you with that. So some people want to quit that too. Yeah, it's all good. Jonathan, I'm a senior in high school, and I have no idea what I'm doing after I graduate. If you want help figuring that out, what I'd recommend is, like, Jonathan, I don't believe that you have no idea. And I'm not saying to pick on you, but, like, if you could have actually the life you wanted, what would it look like? Let yourself dream a little bit. And what you're going to see is that you do have a bunch of ideas, but you're too scared to actually act on them because you've been told your whole life that's not possible. And I'm here to tell you that whatever you want is possible, and no one else knows what's right for your life except for you and your heart. So if you want help with that, I'm going to create a community soon. It'll be $7 a month. I'll teach you my basic thought regulation tools so you can make decisions from your own heart, not somebody else's opinion. Okay? Kelly, hey. Nice. Kelly, do you work at Outback? I didn't know that. How did I not know that? That's so funny. I didn't know you worked at a chain that I knew. So you smell like a blooming onion, huh? Those are so good. You know what we just got in our town? I'm in Michigan. We just got a Texas Roadhouse. Oh my God. Listen, I know it's like probably low quality conventional food, but oh my God. Sirloin steak. I like sirloin because it doesn't have fat in it. Sirloin steak. The rolls with that apples or the cinnamon butter. Oh my God. So fucking. And their house salad is like ridiculously good for just like house salad. Like, oh. I'm such a junkie. All right. How can I stop gooning? You don't need to. Keep gooning. Good. Kelly, how are you doing, by the way? Your journal. Oh, girl. That hour of thoughts were so good. I'm so impressed. It was so good. It was so good. I just got out of the military. What should I do with my life? Great question. What's a problem that you want to solve? Or if you can't answer that, what is the biggest version of your life you want for yourself? And then let's go after that. I'm being dead serious. So, like, if you could have anything you want, life post-military, what would it look like, right? And let yourself dream a little bit. I think that so often we are trained that we can't have what we want, and that's just limiting beliefs by people who don't have lives that we want. I feel mentally drained to people. I was going to get off with you guys a little while ago, but I'm still on, huh? All right. All right. Okay, how to stop vaping when I attach to it, I think of someone no longer in my life. Yes, go look at, I have a user 627, blah, blah, blah. Go to my bio. I have a link at the bottom one. It's called Escape the Vape. It'll teach you everything you need to know, especially if you're associating the vape with somebody that you used to love. Did you get smart when you quit ZA? Your brain gets regulated, yeah, so you definitely get quicker. I don't know if it affects your IQ per se, but it definitely makes you quicker, right? Because, like, I'm sorry, I smoked ZA for when I was 16 to 18 years old. I smoked for like 2.5 years, every fucking day. Every day. I had such a tolerance that I would have to smoke 2 bowls just before it was like a warm-up to my smoking, right? And yeah, I was a lot slower back then. I mean, it slows you down, right? That's the whole point. It's like, so yeah, you definitely get quicker. I don't know if more IQ points doesn't necessarily make sense to me, but you're a more integrated human being when you're not high all the time, right? Like, so that's all. All right, guys, I'm doing like 2 more comments, then I'm gonna hop off, okay? How do I stop myself from overeating? Been trying my best not to overeat, but it still doesn't work. Yeah, overeating is an emotional problem, okay? So if you're just trying to force yourself not to eat without understanding the emotional reasons why you're eating in the first place, it's gonna be near impossible to quit. So if you want help with that, you can DM here. I have 1 minute. I have a program. It's like a 6-week program that'll teach you all the tools on how to quit overeating. It's all about emotions. And it's not like fluffy emotions. It's like very practical. So you can DM me with any questions if you guys have questions about coaching. But I also am going to create a community in a couple weeks, and it's going to be like $7, and it'll be a monthly community where people can join. And I'm feeling very hopeful about it. Like, a lot of people join. We'll get a community in there. I'll teach you my basic tools. And no matter what problems people have, I will show you how the same tools are used to solve any of them. Okay. What's up, Rookie? I don't have many girlfriends, and I don't know how to become close to the point of hanging out with them. Maybe I'll try drinking a big glass of water before each meal. I heard it fills you up. Oh, with the food. I thought you meant with the girlfriends. Yeah. But also, the problem that you're overeating is that it's you have to deal with the emotions. It's emotional. Food is always emotional. Not always, but overeating is always emotional when you're not physically hungry. I don't have any girlfriends. I don't know how to become closer. Well, stop thinking you don't know how to become. So this is the problem. No, it's okay. I got it. Don't worry, Brooke. This is the problem is when you have a thought like, I don't know how to be close to someone, you actually feel closed off, right? So your thoughts create your emotions, and really your thoughts create your results. I'll show you how, okay? So if I think like, well, I'm a gay guy, I don't know how to talk to gay guys, right? Like, I don't have a lot of gay friends. And I think the thought, I don't know how to talk to gays, it's like, I don't know how to get deep with them. When I show up in a setting where I could get deep with somebody, I'm actually withholding because I'm thinking I don't know how to get deep with them, okay? So then I withhold, and then I actually prove to myself that I can't get close, even though I can get close. The only actual problem is that I'm thinking that I can't, and it's freaking me out emotionally. Make sense? Your thoughts create your emotions, drive your actions, create your results every single time. So if you choose to believe you can't get close to people, you're going to prove that right to yourself, even though that's not a fact. That thought is not a fact. But you're proving it to be one in your life, okay? How many months should you quit off for you to see changes? I would say just like a full 30 days it'll at least reset your dopamine. So you'll see changes. I just don't know how drastically. But a full 30 days would be really good for you. Just to try it. Just take a tolerance break. See what happens. You know, you can always go back to it. Okay, how do I stop vaping when I get attached to it when I think, yes, go to my course. Did you see it? I did answer you. Go to were you not listening? Go to my course. It's in my bio. It's called Escape the Vape. It'll help you. That makes sense. Good. That's how it works. That's how your mind always works, Brookie. So what I recommend, instead of trying to solve for why you're not good at talking to people, because that's just a thought, solve for why you think you're not good at talking to people. Solve for why you're thinking that, because I don't see truth for that. You just got deep with me, didn't you? I think it's a fake thought. Or not real thought. Fake news, right? Bubble Bass. How do I stop hating on my appearance because women don't give me attention? Get coaching. Oh, you weren't there. That's okay. Go to my links, user 627, and go to my program. And it's called Escape the Vape. Whether you buy it or not doesn't matter. It's like the actual sales page will give you so much information, it'll blow your mind. Okay? So Bubble Bass, if you want to stop hating on yourself, you have to just change the dominant thoughts in your head. Right? You've been conditioned your whole life to not like yourself. Now, to uncondition, we just have to repeat and have the right mindset tools. That's pretty much it. That's what coaching is all about. So in coaching, I'm going to teach you how to actually manage your thoughts and how to choose ones that feel better. And from that place, you'll recognize that the whole time there's nothing actually wrong with you. You just thought there was. And that's the giant irony of all of our lives. Okay? Just like what Brooke's going through. I'm great at talking to people, but the soccer team girls are hard to talk to since they're all friends. Well, stop thinking that, though. You know, the problem, Brooke, is that you're thinking you're an outcast, right? Like, you can walk into a friend group and just mesh. If you're thinking, I'm going to mesh. There's probably 10, like, if I walk into a party and, like, all of them are already friends, and I think there's 5 people here that are really fucking cool. I've done this before, this exact thought work. I will just go in with a good energy, and people will be magnetized to me because of my thinking, right? But if I go in there, I'm like, oh, they're all friends, they don't want to talk to me, then I show up like that, right? There's a difference from me showing up like this or showing up, like, ready to meet those 5 people, right? That energetic difference is what's going to attract the people to you and be okay with talking to them and getting deep. Right? It's your energy you're presenting, not the actual fact that they're all friends. Make sense? That's how it always is, by the way. It's because most women... So that's the problem, is that you, like, being unattractive is subjective. And let me say this too, Bubble Bass. If there actually are things about your body or your image that you don't like, you can clean those up. But it's hard to do that from shame, okay? For example, I used to be morbidly obese. I literally was diagnosed with morbid obesity. I didn't love my body very much, okay? But I had to get to a point where I'm like, you know what? I have to stop hating myself so much. Because the reason I'm eating so much food is because I don't want to be around myself when I'm not eating food. So food was a good buffer against the way I treated myself. I didn't have to deal with my relationship with myself when I ate food. It was a good distraction. So, like, you can change what you're not happy with. That's possible for you. But it's ironic because the way that you make real change in your life is by changing the conversation in your head. And once you change the conversation in your head, you might not need to lose the weight. You might choose to love yourself exactly how you are. You might not. You might want to lose it anyways, right? But the starting point is by trying really hard to not be such a jerk to yourself. And you saying that you're unattractive probably isn't the most loving thing to say to yourself. And when you're not being loving to yourself, you're not going to want to make positive changes for yourself, right? You're going to take retaliation against yourself. That's what happens, okay? Cool. When I actually get confident when I'm not even, yeah. When I act confident. But in the moment that you're acting confident, you must be believing something about it, or else you wouldn't actually show up as confident. So there must be some part of you that does believe you can act confident, and that's real energy, right? All right, guys. So thanks thanks for the follow, Brookie. I appreciate that, girl. So all right, I'm gonna go. I need to get off. I'm dead. I've been on live for like 4 hours today. But I'm gonna create a low ticket offer. It will be a $7 membership on an app called School, and I'm going to put all my general life coaching education on there, so that once you get in, you can start learning all the things I teach in a very practical sense, and then I will have coaching on there and a community. Would that be something you guys are interested in if I do it? It'll be literally $7 a month. You can join and cancel whenever you want. I'd like to have you in there for at least a year so you can get massive transformation, but what do you think? Is that actually interesting to you? Do you think you guys actually show up and take the courses? What do you think? Oh, wait a minute. Not sure? That's okay. More information. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be like a school. So the school platform is like a community and also course host. So once you get the app, it's a free app. It's like $7 a month, and then you get in, and there's courses I'll have in there. So like I'm gonna have my general life coaching course on there, so you understand how to manage your thoughts about your life. That's like the basic foundational education, and then I'm gonna add other courses as people request them. So it'll be kind of like a whole course host on getting the results you want, whatever that looks like. And I'll make like mini courses on all of it, so you guys can get that stuff. And then in addition, I'm gonna do one live coaching call a week that's actually taking people on and doing real life coaching with them, so you can actually see how to apply the thought work. This is more theoretical. This is more educational. The coaching itself is more transformational. So just think about that. You lost 85 pounds, so you have developed an eating disorder. Yeah, so you might have lost weight in an effect to make you feel happy, and then once it didn't make you feel happy, you now have created a disorder out of it. Make sense? So if you have an eating disorder, I would recommend a clinician instead of a life coach, just so you know. I think it's my ethical responsibility for that, but I understand the psychology of what's going on, but still, like clinicians are technically more qualified to help you with that by technical standard. Maniac moons. I have depression, ADHD, and I stopped taking my medication. I'm spiraling. Why did you stop taking your medication? Yeah. And why are you going to school because you want to or because you don't like it? Like, what is the reason you're going to school? Good question for you, right? Are you going because other people told you to, or because you actually want it for yourself? Just something to consider. All right, guys, I gotta go. I need help with wanting to sleep too much. Ugh. Sounds nice. Actually, I'd probably try it out. Cool. It'd be good, banana milk. And it's $7, right? Like, what's the harm, right? All right. I gotta go, guys. I'm very tired, but have a good night. Thanks for being here.